selected as one of 26 members to attend a Behavioral Leadership Academy on, you don't have, it might be in here too.
Yeah.
Leadership Academy to help with our Stepping Up initiative to address issues. Now what they have done is they have 43 individuals who can apply to be selected to participate in a 1.5-day leadership academy to be able to just really get a lot of consultation to work on problems that we're working on in our communities to solve. So my request is to be able to make that application.
Okay, any questions for Sarah in reference
What will
to
that cost be to the county?
There is no cost to the county. It is all paid for by the policy research with and council state government with support of a grant from Jacob and I'm going to botch this name, Jacob and Valeria Lonaloff Foundation.
When you said, Sarah, that there was no cost to the county, does that include transportation then?
Correct. They pay for all that. And like they did for their behavior leadership, yep, it is all paid for.
Okay.
The scholarship that they pay for.
I'll make that motion.
I would second that.
All right, we have a motion by Gable, seconded by Waterman. Any more discussion?
That's in the middle of the week, a Tuesday and Wednesday, will your office be able to be covered? Is that going to be open, or what happens with our...
Julie only works 4 hours a week, so she usually tries to cover in for that one afternoon, but there would be some closure time, yeah.
Any more else? Any more discussion? Anyone else?
And the discussion right now is for Sarah to apply.
Yes.
A travel request will have to come
Yeah.
It's up to get selected.
if you're right. If your award, if you are right, if your application is approved, then a travel request would have to also come through. Okay.
Six individuals will be selected, so that's some pretty one-on-one time.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve of her application. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
All right, number 7, county road weight limits. And I'm confused before
Morning,
you
Rick.
start. I went by one sign that said 7 ton on it, and I went by another sign that said 6 ton on it, and
Where's the 6-ton one? It should be 7.
it's
It's got to.
somebody went with a paintbrush or something like that and painted over the 7 with a 6. That's out my direction somewhere out there.
I'll take a look at it. It should be all 7, but if somebody doctored them up,
I
that-
think
Myron, I think they seen
Was
that
that a
same sign
9-ton
you were
with
talking
one?
about.
Was that a 9-ton with one bolt missing?
no, it's somebody. It's
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I know 7, but there's because that's why I thought I was pretty sure it was 7, and there was a 6 on this side.
Yeah, there's a
I think it might be on County Road 11.
County Ordinance 9 that was adopted in February of 1997 establishes 7 ton per axle and 40 miles per hour for trucks. And that's an ordinance, that's always in place. But each year, the South Dakota Highway Patrol would like to have a resolution supporting that ordinance and sent to them. And that's what the request is today, is for a resolution supporting ordinance number 9 that basically says the same thing as the ordinance, that it'll be 7 ton per axle and 40 miles an hour for trucks.
All right, you heard the request.
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion by Van Husen, second by Gable. Any more discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Let's do number 8 right
And
away.
that'd be Resolution 2017-4. And I'll put a copy of that in your mailbox.
All right, thank you.
Or I'll put the original because I'll have a different original for my files. Okay.
And the next item is to appoint a consultant for our bridge inspection for 2017. The county can pick whoever they desire to do them at the county's expense, or through the Federal Bridge Inspection Program. We have a list of approved 18 consultants from across the state. One that Cottington County has been using is Austin Engineering out of Watertown. And I guess that's what I'm recommending, the consultant that we use again this year. And just for information, this is the document that's put together each year are bridges. Last year, there was 20 of them, 23, I think. It's a pretty,
Yeah.
thorough bridge inspection on each of the bridges. This year, it's for 10 bridges, but I know, in fact, I don't know that I've ever brought one in, and even if anybody wants to look at them or whatever, you're sure welcome to go through it. There's pretty dry reading.
I'll make a motion that we approve.
We have a motion
Austin
by
Engineering.
Commissioner Hatton, a second by Charlie Waterman. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign.
Just a little information on our three bridges that are applied for in the big program. We haven't heard on them. No word whether we've received the grant or not, so those three projects are kind of in limbo this year. It's kind of setting me back a ways. I can't, the money that I would be spending on those, if those grants aren't approved, then I'm gonna put that into paving, but it's kind of, the bridge grant program, I think we gotta start getting these grants approved earlier in the year, because it puts all the counties kind of in limbo with these funds you have set aside for that. It gets to be August or whatever in South Dakota, that doesn't leave much time for construction to spend these budget dollars on trying to get something done. But I'll keep you up to date.
I do have one other question. We had our township meetings this past week, and of course, in our township meeting, we talked about the road work and the work that the townships are doing. And it was brought to my attention again that any culvert over 42 inches in diameter was the responsibility of the county. And I said, well, I didn't say anything. I just said, because they cited some state law that says that that's what it is, and they were referring to those culverts that, are out in my neck of the woods out there, that it's beginning to be a real problem with the washout.
16 square foot is a number that is in that statute, and that statute, all it does is states if it's over 16 square feet, the township can come to the county and ask for assistance in replacing that culvert. The maintenance and repair of that culvert is still the township.
Okay. The maintenance.
And this comes up every year after the Townsend
Yep.
Township meeting. It gets bannered around at the township meeting that maybe these are the responsibility of the counties for maintenance and cleaning, and that's not the case. It's they can come to the county if the county agrees to participate. There's a $500. The first $500 the township has to pay the county for this project, and then the county pays the rest of it. The county does not have to. It says they may participate in the replacement of this, and we've gone over that last year. There was a couple in Kransburg, and we went through that again, where same thing, the township, and it seems like every year, right after these meetings, I don't know what they hear in these meetings, but a lot of them come back with the
Well, this information was brought from the state Townsend Township meeting,
Right.
and so I just listened. And these are big culverts we're talking about. These are 8-footers, and numerous in a row.
And
So
like I say, those are, and the county has participated in the past on some. Recently, say there was 2 of them from Cranford just a year and a half ago that they came to the county, and the county looked at the finances and so forth and suggested that maybe you guys should just program these for replacement on your own and do it out of your own. But yeah, I know, Myron, that every year that, well, if you're sitting and listening at the conference and there's something to the effect that anything over 16 square foot of opening, the county is involved in it, that catches their ear right on.
you bet. Yeah. Well, thank you, Rick.
You bet.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rick.
Number 9, action to approve a maintenance agreement for the live scan fingerprint machine at the detention center. That must be Tom. Good morning, Tom.
Morning, Tom.
So what I have here is just a maintenance and support agreement from the company that provides our support for the live scan fingerprint machine. They kind of lost us in the shuffle, so this would have been in effect October 8th, 2016. but for whatever reason, they were late getting us the agreement. We have been receiving support from them, and this is just upkeep on the live scan machine when things start to fail because it is a computer system, and they provide updates, general maintenance. If we haven't had to have anyone come out on site to do maintenance. A lot of it can be done remotely. But the total cost for 1 year maintenance is $4,354. I did forward it to the state's attorney, and he looked over. He says looks pretty standard. He didn't have any issues at all with it. So.
And this does include if they do have to come out, it
Yes.
includes all of their travel and everything here.
Yep.
We have a motion by Hatton, a second
Second.
by Gable. Any more discussion?
This will backdate it to October, being it wasn't their fault, we don't get to start today.
Right. Just because they have been providing support. So.
And I'm assuming that when Toby prepared the budget, this was probably in the budget already, so just for information. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Thank you. Tom?
He's also item number 10.
All right. Action to approve initial circulation for a full-time correctional officer. Go ahead.
Well, a while back we came and we asked to put somebody in our criminal support coordinator position, and we're moving a full-time corrections officer into that position. She's been out on maternity leave. She should be coming back next Monday. She'll be coming back to work, and we've got some part-time people that are interested in this position, and I have no reason not to move somebody who's already in the jail into a full-time position.
I'll make that motion that we approve the internal
Okay, we have a motion by
Second.
Hammond, second by Gable. Any more discussion?
So, Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
so then does that create a part-time opening, most likely?
I'm going to see where we're sitting, because I've got 2 students that are in the law enforcement program at Lake Area right now. They'll both be graduating this
Okay.
year, and once they graduate, they're not 21 yet, so they're not going to be able to be certified law enforcement officers, so they're going to have more time to work those overnight day shift hours, or right now they have to dedicate their time to their classroom time.
Right.
This is an increase of, right now, of a half a person then?
No.
No.
You guys approved this new position, so we're moving a correctional officer into the new position, and then we're just maintaining our current staffing of correctional officers. And then we also have a pool of part-time correctional officers for fill-in. And those part-timers are as needed, right?
Yep.
No benefits, but this one would just be maintaining the current staffing level that we have of correctional officers.
That's a matter of what we're approving is that you circulate basically the job listing internally.
Correct.
So,
Thank you. Good questions. Any others? Any others? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries.
All right, thank you.
Tom, do you need to stay here for this next one as far as action to
It's
approve an
just
agreement?
it's just 2 more contracts that came back.
Yeah, in case we have a question.
And actually, we've already approved 2 of these. I think we approved Dual County and Clark County. Since I put this on the agenda, Hamlin County's contract has also come in, so these would be contracts with Kingsbury and Hamlin County.
Move
make-
to approve.
Okay, we have a motion by Troy, second by Hatton. Any more discussion?
and the rate is $75 a day?
Okay? Any more discussion? Any more questions? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Motion carries. Number 12, auction to approve auditors with the treasurer and the note the register of deeds monthly fees.
This is just the monthly report of the cash and cash items as of the last day of February when we go over to count the cash. Shows you where our funds are deposited currently: general fund, special revenue, trust and agency, which is money that goes to the schools, the townships, and the towns. And then just note the Register of Deeds monthly statement of fees. And a portion of that is also remitted to the state of South Dakota. Fees collected in February were $21,022.
Move to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Hatton, seconded by Gable. Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. 13, action to approve claims for payment. You have a copy on your desk. Go ahead, Cindy.
Just a few highlights on page 1 in the Commissioner's budget. That is the insurance company that handles all of our property and our inland marine equipment, which would be various large pieces of equipment like floor scrubbers. A lot of the search and rescue equipment is covered by this insurance, including this building, the detention center, the ag building, the highway department. All of our little shops, all of our little highway shops are also insured. Memorial Park, that is the annual premium for that. And let's see, there's not a lot of out of the ordinary this month. I had a few more highlighted, I think.
I think on the furnace replacement.
Yeah, that furnace replacement that you authorized at the ag building is on page 8. The ag building budget, it's on the lower half of that page, $13,730. That was furnace and air conditioning. And you approved that project previously.
And it's done, isn't it?
It is.
Yep.
Those are the only two things I have highlighted. So of the over $728,000 in claims, over $424,000 goes to the state for our collection of motor vehicle funds in the month of February, leaving just over $304,000 in county claims. And if you have any questions on any of the others, I can try and answer those.
Yeah, I just do have one online under the ag building, number 60 there, active heating for a thermostat.
What page is that?
For page 8,
Yep.
for $757.26.
Milo, you want to respond to that?
That was for work on for the furnace and the wash rack out in the barn, used during the barn drill.
So it was a repair bill concerning the thermostat. This is just we don't
Yeah.
have a lot of room to put
No.
explanations in there, so we try and put a keyword in there when we're preparing these, so.
A T word.
Keyword.
Oh,
Keyword, yeah, it
Well,
did.
It just caught my eye,
did.
that's all.
No,
And I'm
it
sure
did.
there was more, I knew there was more to it than,
Yeah.
when Cindy said a T word, I looked down, that's a thermostat. I guess that's a T word, not a keyword, but a T word. Any other questions?
Move to approve.
Moved approved by Commissioner Hatton. Second
Troy.
by Troy. Any other discussions? I just want to note here, the state pass-through money. I know when we look at this $728,000 budget or expenditures for the month, and we think, wow, but over half of it is just pass-through. We're the money handlers, is what we are.
That'd be the motor vehicle collections through the treasurer's office for the month of February.
Yep. All right, we have a motion second. Any more discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
aye.
Motion carries. Claims for payment.
That's what we just did.
Oh, yeah.
Good job.
I was going to say, I think we did that. Any budget supplements this month?
We do have a budget supplement. I failed to put it in the packet. It is the Homeland Security Emergency Management grant funds that we were reimbursed for projects that we spent in November, December, and January. We just need to put the grant money back into the emergency management budget.
Move to approve.
Second.
Approved by, a motion by Hatton, seconded by Commissioner Gable. Any more discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Okay, 15, action to employ dental insurance and split the premiums, and there's a copy on your desk of what has happened in the past. Cindy, you want to
Yeah, we received our dental insurance premium renewal from Dakota Dental, or Delta Dental of South Dakota. There is no increase this year. That will leave the single rate at $39.30. Two-party is $70.76. 3 or more in the family is $103 per month. Currently, the split in place is the county pays the entire single premium. Two-party, the county pays the amount of the single premium, and the employee pays $31.46 to make up that total for the two-party. And then the county currently pays half of the family premium. So I need to know if you want to leave those splits, if you want to accept these rates and leave the splits at the current level.
Motion, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved, leave status quo.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Waterman, second
Second.
by Troy. Any more discussion?
Just, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Gable, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to ask, so, just so we're clear on the motion, so you said status quo, meaning the splits.
As is.
Yeah, but the rates are a little bit different, right?
No, the rates
Same.
remain the
Same.
same.
I missed
Yep,
that.
they're, this is about the first time in, I don't know how many years, that we haven't had a rate increase. So the rates will remain the same, and per
All right.
Mr. Waterman's motion, the county employee split will
Okay.
remain the same.
Anyone else have any question? Anyone else? Okay, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. 16, Marlo, this is you. Permission, or authorization to advertise for summer help. You're gonna need some help out there.
Gonna need some help at Memorial Park. Nothing out of the ordinary here. We haven't had to hire new people for a number of years. We ran into a problem last fall, but anyhow, just requesting permission to advertise through Department of Labor for temporary seasonal positions at Memorial Park for the year. We do have 2 positions to fill.
I'll make a motion to authorize that
Second.
advertising.
Motion by Van Husen, seconded by Hanton. Any more discussion? How many hours are these? Are they
It'd be 40 hours a week.
40 hours a week?
For the duration of the summer.
Temporary, part-time?
Yep.
Or full-time, part-time? Or something like that?
Temporary, full-time.
That employee
Seasonal.
would be covered.
Seasonal.
Seasonal?
Would we
Full-time.
have to provide health insurance then?
No.
for that?
No.
No. No, because they're they're 40 hours a week, but because they're seasonal, then South Dakota Retirement and the other benefits
Okay.
do not apply.
Good questions. Charlie, do you have a question? Did you have a question? Okay, I'll entertain a motion then.
I have a motion and a
Oh, I do.
second.
We do, okay.
Yep, motion and a
All-
second.
Any more discussion? Anything else? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign, motion carries.
All righty, thank you.
Thank you,
Milo.
Milo. Number 17, discussion and possible action to accept a proposal for bond counsel. And this would be Commissioner Gable.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. We received 3 proposals as of yesterday. So rather than act on them, I'd prefer to act on them next week to pick one. So I need to review them, and if any other commissioners want to join me in that review, you are welcome to do so. So we can, let me know, and I have at least 2 copies of each of the 3. So, and I'll also probably be discussing, if I have questions anyway, discussing with Toby Morris, who we hired as the bond advisor, the financial advisor for the bond, and so he can be a good person to ask about. So if you don't mind, I'd like to move that to next week for the action.
Okay?
I have it.
Got it on the calendar. Go ahead, then Lee, number 18, any updates on,
Yeah, I was going to show a slide. Can you, let me get that cable there.
Oh,
Just to show, since we had a meeting last week. Trying to make use of this high tech.
we're going to have a movie?
No, I just want show it, just for everybody. What we're- I'll get that. I'll get this.
Go to inputs. There's no input button on there.
Sorry, guys. Anyway. Sorry. Okay, let's not do that. So,
Would you like to put it on the agenda for next week?
I can show a slide next week as an update, but just very quickly, we had a Justice Advisory Committee meeting this past Tuesday night after our last commission meeting, and we, I don't think it's any surprise because we talked about this option a little bit last week, but the Justice Advisory Committee recommended going with the proposal that answered all the needs, so the new jail with the in-custody courtroom, remodeling the existing jail building to move county and court offices to that building, thereby freeing up space in this building, and then remodeling the space necessary in this building. So those are the basic pieces of it. One thing we added was to make sure that we could, in the remodeling of this building, that we got another
Well, you're on a delay, Lee.
Yeah, that's right. So you have the new jail, and then remodeling of the two buildings shown in yellow, so that's the old jail and the current courthouse, but just portions of the courthouse and just the main floor of the jail. The idea being that when you remodel the jail, you'll be able to move some offices out of the current courthouse to make room for the courts, which is a critical problem we identified. And one of the additions was that we really wanted to have another jury-capable courtroom when we do that. So that's, we know we're not going to probably be able to answer the ideal size of a new courtroom, but the ability to do 2 jury trials at once from time to time is pretty important. So that's kind of the conclusion we came to. And the price, overall price, $24 million, about applying the 5. We recommended, as the Justice Advisory Committee, applying $5 million from the Future Public Projects Fund to get a bond amount of about $19 million. So that's just kind of closure on the recommendation for the option to go forward with. And assuming that we're able to agree with the city on how to acquire that parking lot, then that's what we recommend going with. That's the ideal site. And then secondarily, the 212 site is still there, it's still a possibility. So that's essentially the recommendation that came out of it, and that was the big news from the Justice Advisory Committee on that one. So any questions about that?
Leave that slide up there for 1 minute. The only was a question, I guess, or a comment that I had from one of the local coffee groups here in town. They've been hashing this over pretty thoroughly, and they were concerned about the parking. But they solved that parking. They said, we're going to help you out. We got a suggestion. Our current parking lot here right south of the courthouse, switches in the right-hand picture.
There's parking there. That's the parking map. If you want.
Okay, go back to where you were, though, the last before. Okay, their suggestion said, what good is that grass doing on the west side of that current parking lot out here? And there's a bunch of trees out here. It said, take the trees and the grass out, make that another additional,
that's a possibility.
Expand your parking lot.
Yeah.
And that was a suggestion from one of the...
There is a little bit of money in that budget there to do that, and of course, that's depends on, we don't know if the bid's going to come in high or low, but the idea would be to do that. If we just went directly west from the current courthouse parking lot, that would probably be 14-ish parking spaces. If you wanted to go further north, you'd get more. So there's more to be said on parking. And speaking of parking, any other questions about, I think I had, go ahead.
Yeah, I do, Lee, and behind the jail in the alley there, what to me looks like a gray area, is that parking?
Here?
No, to bring your, right there.
Right there.
Right now that is, yeah, that would be open probably. Right. I mean,
That would
that's
be
the-
open for parking?
Probably, but, they have to engineer the building, but yeah, that'd probably be where the.
Or is
law
that
enforcement-
part of the building? I can't see that. fine
That's not
print.
part of this building in this footprint here. In some of the other iterations, that was a law enforcement garage. But right now, in order to save money, we're not planning on doing that right now. So that would probably be where law enforcement vehicles would end up getting parked.
Staff
And the
parking.
other square up there is what, on First Avenue?
That one?
Yeah, that one?
That one that's part of the land that we're trying to acquire. So where I'm tracing that cursor, this is basically where those dark dashed lines are, that's the city parking lot property that we're trying to agree on.
So how many spaces
This
can you
is-
put in that one on First Avenue?
Charlie,
That's 27.
That's about a 90 by 90 square foot lot there.
Yeah, that's
And it's about
27.
27 parking spots.
Just to finish up on this slide here, the next slide's on parking downtown.
Okay.
But I had a question, just so people understand on this amount here. So right now, we've plugged in, for the land acquisition of that, we plugged in the amount that we offer to the city. Now, we still haven't agreed, so I doubt if it's going to be any lower than that, but it could be, I suppose. But so there is a little bit of flux in there. So that's why I made sure I said about in front of those amounts.
Sure.
So, and, we could decide how to deal with that if you either increase the bond amount a bit or apply a bit more from the Future Building Projects Fund, or, however we want to treat that once we agree with the city. And then, since we're in discussion with the city, I've been trying to have conversations with different city council members just to answer their questions. As people know, there was a question on parking at the last city council meeting when they tabled our offer, and this map shows the counts of all the different publicly available parking spots. So not including if I can describe the map, the pink shaded areas are pretty much all the parking lots, private and public. The ones with numbers in them are public lots, and then the diagonal spaces all have little numbers by them too, and that's a pretty close count. So downtown, just what's shown on this map here, there are over 1,400 parking spots. Mm-hmm. So what the auditorium would remove is 119 a jail would remove from the auditorium parking lot 119 of those over 1,400 parking spots. So I'm not in, and that doesn't include the private lots that are downtown in that number. So just to give people an idea, that's kind of where we're.
So if we remove the county parking down here and put it back in that alley behind where the proposed garage would be, and with that other lot, it would kind of be a wash then. What we would have extra and what we'd gain and what we'd lose.
I'm sorry, say this again?
No, go to that previous slide. You said we're going to lose 119 spots.
Yeah,
approximately.
That's what would be replaced by the jail, by that.
Okay, but you mentioned
But
right
this
there.
would still stay. Yeah, you could still park there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Charlie, I
That's
think what you're
figured- that's
talking
figured in
about,
that.
you're talking about adding
Yeah,
on to the
yeah.
courthouse lot would
Oh, you're talking about adding?
would
on?
add additional parking.
Yeah, they'll add a little bit.
So
Yeah.
Okay.
it
Yeah,
would
we
be
could do that.
basically the same amount.
But,
of parking.
the issues, and this kind of fits with the downtown charrette conversation, the downtown revitalization discussion. I mean, I think we've all heard that, we want to keep these facilities downtown.
But south of the courthouse, we've got that whole line next to the jail, which is all
Yeah, here?
parking for law enforcement.
Yeah.
And that parking would be.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Would
good
be
point.
put in
Yeah,
the alley
yeah,
behind
yeah,
there.
yeah, good point.
So that would increase the size of
Yeah,
our
by-
parking lot.
Yeah, by a few spaces, yep.
And with 90 spots over there and an added deal over there, it's not going to be a large impact. Doesn't look that way.
I would agree with you.
Okay.
But,
That was
but that's- but
that was
that's-
one of
that's
my
an-
concerns.
Yeah, and it's an understandable concern for the city council members. So that's going on. And then we started, one thing to make people aware is that we're still talking, if we agree with the city, they have other things going on with their wellness center, and that's going to have an impact on, how that all settles out, the different activities that they have in the park and rec world, I think, if I understand it right. So if we were to agree with the city, you'd still have another good year of the use of that parking lot, so, before groundbreaking. So, anyway, thank you for your time, Mr. sorry to drag on some. We'll get the technical difficulties out of the way here one of these
Okay.
days, so.
Anything else? I did park across the street in the west parking lot this morning, and somebody had gotten their vehicle out of this parking spot, so I kind of launched my vehicle into that parking spot. But it was a little, kind of interesting as I was driving around looking for a parking spot this morning as to how many vehicles have apparently sat there
Oh, yeah.
over the weekend and through the snowstorm. And we need to start identifying who they are. Somebody talked about work release people, maybe they're going to have to make different arrangements. So if people are using this as long-term storage for their extra vehicle rather than parking it in their driveway or something like that, these...
I think my guess, Mr. Chairman, on the impact would be, if you put a jail and it displaced those parking spots, there'd be times when people would be running errands in this building and they would have to walk a few extra blocks, which, there's different views on that. That is, it can be inconvenient. On the other hand, people walk past all their businesses, and so that's a good thing too. So, but I don't think it's going to be that frequent.
Sure.
So.
Okay,
Typically, Myron, I always park across the street, and it's not generally as full as it was today.
I know, it's a lot.
Yeah, a lot of those people couldn't park on First Avenue because of the snow removal.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Yep. All right. Any personnel changes today?
No personnel and no travel
All right.
today.
Any old business for the good of the cause this morning? Any mature business?
Yes, the only question I had when we were talking about with Tom and the new position, it was in the legislature to decrease the amount on the alcohol tax that we receive. Has anybody heard any update on where that's at?
I don't know what happened with that.
The last I heard is that they thought it would be killed, but I don't know. Yeah, and I have not had any updates from our association either,
I think we would
so
have gotten some
I think they would have,
calls
if
for us to-
grassroots efforts were needed, I
Yeah.
think they would have contacted us, so I'm assuming that got saved.
I haven't noticed anything, but
Which
I
is a good
just
thing,
wondered if
'cause-
I missed, yes.
A lot of that money would have been taken out of that.
Yeah, I
Support
mean,
that
they
position.
gave it to us last year,
Yeah.
told us to use it for law enforcement. We budgeted for law enforcement, and now they wanted to reduce it before we've even
Yeah.
gotten our second payment.
Well, and it would have stayed at the state is where it was going to go back into, so.
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of what happens, I guess, out there. That's why I always worry about money going into the big black hole out there, because sometimes it stays black. Lee, did you have a...
On the next Justice Advisory Committee meeting is scheduled for the 4th of April. And that's kind of an if we needed.
All right.
Time.
To be updated.
6:10.
Okay.
Yeah. Just put it on your calendar, so it's
This is a definite meeting, or?
pretty definite.
Okay.
Pretty
All right.
definite.
Okay.
Any other old business? How about new business?
Your quarterly meeting of the Sioux Valley Commissioners Association will be held Wednesday, April 5th at 12 o'clock noon at the Lake Norden Community Center. The Hamlin County Auditor needs to know how many of you will attend, and I need to report that to her by March 23rd. So you will have an opportunity next Tuesday to let me know, but just giving you a heads up, it starts at noon. It's usually about an hour to 2 hours of lunch meeting. Apparently, they're going to set up a tour of the AgroPure. I don't know what that is, if that's, is that the cheese factory in Lake Norden? I don't know.
Not sure.
And your association director will be there. The comments from area legislators so far is what's on the agenda. Maybe AgroPure is not the cheese factory.
Yeah, I don't think it
I
is.
don't know what it is, but there's a tour scheduled for you. Anyway, let me know. I'll bring it up again next Wednesday or next Tuesday.
You can put me down for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. me as
And
well,
I
so.
will, I
Yeah.
plan on going too.
I as well.
Okay. And the registration is $11, which the county pays. But like I said, I will bring this up again next week.
All
So
right.
we want to line up the vehicle for that day, all of us ride together?
yeah, there's usually room for you commissioners to go together, but we don't really have an election, or a vehicle big enough for the rest of us, so it's a short trip this time, so you guys can go ahead and contact the DOE office about getting a vehicle ready, yeah.
Okay,
I can do that.
all right,
Okay.
Brenda's gonna do that, take care of the vehicle. Anything else for new business? Anything else? How about open? Anything for the open this morning?
Well, the events that we could have a quorum of commissioners at is our spring workshop, which starts tomorrow morning out in Pier, and Thursday. I guess that's mainly all that I have up till like next week at the forum. You know, there will be more
Yeah,
than
the
likely.
forum, The 21st, and then there's a LATI event today with the Aspen Watch going on.
Right, and the Aspen Award.
Yeah.
So that's all that I have, unless someone else has additions.
You say that forum was at 5:30?
Yes, I think that's
Yep.
what I heard.
Yep. Yes, I heard. All right. Anything else? We open. Anything, executive session, anything? Anybody request the exec session?
Oh,
Mr.
yeah,
Chairman,
Myra.
maybe just a quick one on contract negotiations.
All right, okay.
I'll
So
make a
that would be number
C,
2, B, right? Number 3?
Well,
C.
it could be C, yeah,
C, probably.
number
Yeah,
4.
C, yeah, let's say number 4.
Yeah, it's-
I'll make a motion, we go into executive session.
For contract
numbers.
negotiations, all right?
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Hatton, seconded by Van Huzen. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
We are in executive session. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for,
We don't really foresee any.
there will not be any action.
Nothing after this.